Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I will be reviewing Agatha Christie's The ABC Murders. I've only recently gotten into reading mystery books. I read a couple of the Sherlock Holmes books by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle last year, and I've also read a handful of fantasy sci-fi novels that are really mystery novels with a fantasy setting or a sci-fi setting. But I hadn't really read just hardcore mystery novels before. And then one of my friends suggested that I read Crooked House by Agatha Christie because I was a huge Knives Out fan, and he suggested that Crooked House was very similar to Knives Out. And it was, and I loved it, and I thought it was great, and I was looking for another Agatha Christie book. And the one I decided to read next was The ABC Murders, because I was looking to read a Poirot book. Hercule Poirot is the main character, and I was the investigator, and I was looking for something that would interest me. And the thing about this book is the killer's got something of a alliterative thing going on. The last name of the first victim starts with an A, and it takes place in a city that starts with an A. And then victim B takes place in a city starting with B, and so on. And I just thought, this is an interesting premise. I much prefer typically a style of a Clue type story where you have all the characters in one house and you have to use the evidence just in that house to figure out who did it. Obviously not Clue the movie, because that thing was terrible, but I prefer that kind of story, which is why I loved Knives Out so much. I thought that it did the Clue or Crooked House story really well. And this is more of a serial killer story. This story really focuses on Poirot and Hastings trying to just determine where the killer is going. What makes this book different from other mystery stories is that Poirot's goal is not to catch the villain necessarily. He wants to get inside the murderer's mind. He wants to know why he's killing, not necessarily who it is. And nobody else in the story can seem to agree with him that that should be the priority. Everyone else is focused on catching the villain and just putting them behind bars. And Poirot is like, no, we need to legitimately we need to figure out why he's doing it, because then we can stop him, and we can also figure out what's the issue, because he doesn't just kill because he's killing. There's got to be a reason behind it. And it's kind of dark at times, but it's still a wonderful book, and I highly enjoyed it. There are many points within the book that made me just laugh out loud. It was just a funny story. There were particularly the interactions between Hastings and Poirot. There were some funny moments between them where Poirot will basically say something ominous and Hastings won't understand it, but Poirot doesn't explain himself, and so Hastings tries to kind of infer what Poirot means, and sometimes it can be quite comical. There were also some funny moments of where Poirot is saying, "Hastings, you're a genius," and Hastings "Wait, what did I do?" And he doesn't tell Hastings what he did. And the ending of the book, the longest chapter in the book, I believe, is the final chapter. It's one of the longest chapters, and it is a brilliant ending. The penultimate chapter, it really builds up the tension, and it twists exactly what you think is going to happen and just goes, nope, that's not what's happening. And I just thought that was a very smart move. I didn't see who the villain was going to be necessarily moving towards the ending, but once they laid it out, I was able to think back to all the clues that were in the book that you could directly see, and I thought that is brilliant, and I could actually see them, whereas I felt that some of the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle stories, he just throws out evidence, and there's no way I would have known that early on in the story. And so I really enjoyed being able to follow the clues with the author. And so I would give The ABC Murders a 9.5 out of 10. It was highly entertaining. There were a few minor quibbles I had it, but I would be getting into spoilers for that. But as a whole, it's a highly entertaining book, and I highly recommend it, even for mystery novices like myself. So if you've read this, please tell me what you think. Are there other Agatha Christie books that you think I should read? I'm open to suggestions on where to go next. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel and comment below and share the video with your friends. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.